Hey guys, we're on a Wednesday design video, 1-point perspective to help your clients see your vision. Come join me. Okay guys, working on our daughter's house, the anti-flipper house, trying to show them, looking from their dining room into their kitchen, what it would look like if we opened that wall up. And what I'm trying to do is I want you guys to get good at drawing. So today's talk is really kind of a design lesson in how to draw. And this is drawing 1-point perspective. And so basically I've got this larger picture here. I'm going to show you that because I'm looking down this thing, this is a 1-point perspective. Now, how do you find your 1 point? How do I draw these details to make it look right? And it's all because that I have a vanishing point back here that all the lines tie to that's gonna help me draw and open this up. So the first thing I need to do is draw that room behind there. And so in order to do that, I'm gonna take my basically trim that's on here, and I'm going to find out where those points all converge, okay? So if I do this, and I'm just taking the top line of that, I'm running it back here. Looks like I've got a point here. I'm gonna check it against this. Yeah, that's right. And then one more, check the window stool. And yeah, so I've got, this is what's called my vanishing point, because that's gonna help me orient and draw everything else. Now, once you have your vanishing point, I need to lay out the room that's back there. Now, basically, this is what's behind that wall. So I'm in there taking a picture this way. You know, this cabinet is in this wall right here. There's another window and there's a cabinet back there. So I need to draw that on there. Well, how do I get it in there? How do I put it up? Well, basically, because I can see my floor back there, okay, I know that my base runs basically right here, okay? So the base of that other room is basically right there. Now, because I have these vanishing points, I know where this wall is back here. How? Well, because that's the floor, and I got my vanishing point, which lines up this base trim, I know the base of that wall in that other room is on that line, okay? So basically I can take that line, run it to my vanishing point, I hit the horizontal point of that base, and there's the bottom corner of that other room, okay? So now I draw a straight line up, and I know where that other wall is, okay? So, and this is all just working off of that one vanishing point and then just connecting lines. So I've taken that baseline, run it across here, and now because I know where this line is and where my vanishing point is, I can find out where the wall is, that back corner of that wall. How do I find the top corner? Well, because I know this wall extends all the way across, okay, I'm gonna take this baseline and this crown line and draw them down through my vanishing points. Because I've got this outside wall drawn here too, because I know where this base is, I basically got the inside corner of my house right there, and then if I connect these lines across here, I know where that ceiling is, okay? So there's the inside of my room, okay? And how I get to this place where I'm drawing this out is those lines are in there, they've been erased now, and now I can start putting in these cabinets and these other details and cutting open this wall so that we can see what that little stool and what that thing looks like, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come off this wall 3.5 inches, because I know that that wall is, and I'm guesstimating, guys, I'm guesstimating here, but basically I'm saying that I've come through the wall 3.5 inches, and now what I can do is I can actually draw in my cabinetry. And I know, because I can look at the cabinets in this picture, that the cabinets go to the ceiling, okay? They go to the ceiling in here, and they go to the base here. And so I know that this line right here is about 34 inches. So I'm gonna just draw at 36 inches, what I think is basically 2 feet, because that's how deep a cabinet is, 25 inches. Right there, there's my cabinet coming off the wall, and here it is going down, okay? And now I can go up 16, 18 inches. Again, I'm ballparking this. And then I'm going to go up to this ceiling in here, okay? And there is my upper cabinet. And there's my lower cabinet. Now, how do I continue to draw that into the room? Well, because I've got my vanishing point right here, I'm just going to take that line and draw it down, right? I'm going to take this cabinet deal, take my vanishing point, upper edge of that cabinet, and draw it across, okay? So, and basically I'm going to take the back edge of my cabinet with my vanishing point. I'm going to draw it across, okay, to the back edge of the wall. Now I come over 2 feet, okay, and that's where those walls connect. And all of a sudden, now I've got my cabinet in here, and there's my lower cabinet, okay? Do the same thing with the upper. Got my vanishing point right here. I'm going to connect the lower edge of this thing, come it across, come down. Now I've got my upper cabinet. Now I know that there's a sink in the middle, so I'm just going to kind of guesstimate and draw that in where it goes. And I'm just going to try to draw a little sink detail, little sink faucet, little arm. I'm going to draw this cabinet coming up and this cabinet in the middle. I've now got this cabinet roughed in right here on this wall, okay? So the next thing I'm showing on here is what we're wanting to look at, okay? I'll just keep that in pencil, is opening this wall up and then possibly putting a chamber stove in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in here, because my vanishing point, I know where my cabinet sits, okay? I can draw in a cabinet here. It's probably going to come over a little bit more than that. So I'm figuring that I've got an 18-inch cabinet here with a countertop. Vanishing point draws the line back, draws the lines across. Now I've got my countertop in here. Now I've got a lower cabinet, right? How it comes across. My stove will go over a little bit further, but it's basically, and I'm going to put a chamber stove in there, okay? And a chamber stove is an old 1940s, 1930s stove that could have been used in this thing. And I'm going to draw this chamber stove in here, okay? Because I know where it is, because I've got the foot of an old stove here, and I can draw this stove in. Now I'm going to draw another cabinet in, okay? I'm going to tie it across to this other side, okay? And the countertop comes across, and it would have a backsplash, and it would come across here, right? And so now I've got a toe kick, and I'm going to put a drawer in, another drawer, another door, another door, okay? So now I'm seeing this other side wrapped. I could do the same thing with the upper cabinet, have it come across. It's gonna be a little bit higher, but it comes across, and then on this side there's an upper cabinet. Right, I'm just drawing in the cabinets as they might lay out, and then maybe we put a hood, over top of this. So we've got a hood up here, and so now I'm starting to lay it out. Now you're going to see it better when I draw it in ink, but the final thing I've got to do is open this wall up. So I'm going to take this wall over, and look what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this window header, and I'm going to match the window header that I have on the window with this new door opening. Because I don't have to be at 6/8 door, I can tie that across visually here. Now I'm going to pull this arm up to here. I'm going to stop this cased opening about right here so that upper cabinet can tie into it, okay? So there's my new opening. And because they wanted it 42, there's 36. I'm going to go 6 inches above that. And I also know that this door opening is about 32 and we wanted about 36. So I'm going to pull back from there, okay, and put this shelf in here and then draw this down, okay? What I'm going to do with the pencil is I'm actually going to just cover all the white stuff, and you'll see that it just kind of disappears. It causes it to disappear. And so this then matches it in with the wall. And I can hide a bunch of these things that are picking up my eye right now. Now I can go back in with a pen, okay? So now I get my pen, but now you can see that I've opened this space up, and because I know where those cabinets are, I can actually start drawing in these cabinet details. Now, what I'll do is I'll take my pencil and I'm gonna shade in a lot of this stuff. So a lot of it disappears. So like the white thing will disappear. And then this stuff will start to pop a little bit more. And it'll start to show up. what exactly I was drawing. Obviously, I've done a very clean version here. Basically, I've gone over top of it with some tracing paper so that I can get a view for how it looks. But this one-point perspective and this vanishing point is key to making all of this realistic and visible so that your client can see it. Now, once you've done it on, as a rough form, you could put paper over it like I did and actually redraw it carefully so the cabinets all look right. I put a bunch of stools in there and I'm showing them this at 42, just some different ways that this might look. So a picture like this with this one-point perspective is probably the easiest way to start putting it together. But you see that I am basically using pieces that are already in the room as clues for how high, because I know that the doorknob height has to be 36 by code. So there's my countertop height there. So I know that countertop in that back room is at 36 inches. I know where the sink is. I know how these other things look and how it's going to come together. And I'm able to draw this out. Now, if I wasn't in a hurry trying to show you guys this, I would spend more time. I would make some lines darker and some lines lighter, but you can go as far as you want as far as working this out. I mean, even on this version, I'm showing checkered floor that we might do in black and white. We might do a color, something Colonial Revival in there. And you could shade in your countertops. You could put the color of your cabinets. If we found a cute chamber stove, maybe one that's pink or yellow or some fun color, I could color that in. There's a lot of ways to enliven this and make this better, but that one-point perspective is a great tool for helping your clients and helping yourself see things better. Just taking a photo, figuring out where things are, and then drawing over top of it really does help. I'm going to share this with the girls now. Say, hey, do you still like this idea of having this little seating area? Does this open up the kitchen in the right way? And this, again, is inspiration for us as we start pulling this house together.